The Swedish film Intermezzo brought Ingrid to the attention of American producer David O. Selznick. It happened because of the instinct of his assistant, Kay Brown, who would become my mother's lifelong friend and agent.
Mr. Selznick sent me to talk to her and to get a contract with her. And I kind of worried as to whether or not this was a wise decision on her part. At any rate, that night we were walking in Old Town, and I had the courage to bring it up. I said, are you sure this is the right thing that you want to do? You've got a wonderful husband and a lovely baby, and you have all the work that you want. And she said, yes, it was, because she wanted challenges in life and work in life.
There was little doubt in my mother's mind. The move to the United States would change our lives, but she saw it was the chance of a lifetime, one she believed she had to take. In May 1939, Ingrid Bergman arrived in New York. She was 24 years old, and she traveled alone, carrying one suitcase. Producer David O. Selznick was eager to meet the young Swedish actress. He had agreed to star in a remake of Intermezzo. My father and I remained in Sweden, where he was in training to become a brain surgeon.
I don't know where I got my determination and strength from. I was so young and I wanted so much to try my wings in Hollywood, but immediately I was considered too tall, and they were going to do something with my face and change my name. And when I heard all that, I got terribly frightened, and I said, I want to go back. I don't want to do all that. So I refused and refused and refused, and then they accepted my name and what I looked like. And then Selznick looked at all the tests that he did before Intermezzo and decided that the left side was the best side.
A day to remember always.
I can't bear to see it end.
And so whenever we had a close-up in Intermezzo, it was always that side that was turned to the camera. I arrived in Hollywood exactly at the right time, because they had all these actresses that were so made up. And everything was so phony in a way. And I came there and I was completely natural.
Once my mother then came to the United States and started working and was successful in a few of her early films, she began to express herself more and more about what she wanted to do and the kind of movie she wanted to do. Because the way she was being presented to the public was something like a Swedish milkmaid. Good-hearted, sweet, family girl, just home, you know, all the time. And they didn't know what to do with it, because when they couldn't turn her into a glamour puss, they sort of decided, okay, let's go with the country girl.
I was just the simple girl, the refugee, and the good girl. And I got very, very tired of always being so good. When they cast me in Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Lana Turner was going to play the little barmaid, and I was going to play Dr. Jekyll's fiancée, who was a very nice girl. And I was by then so fed up with it and terribly worried, because I didn't want to be typecast. I wanted to be an actress and play everything.
You aren't half a fast one, aren't you?
I forgot to mention, my friend and I are physicians.
Physicians?
Doctors.
Doctors? Oh, go on. Oh, I thought you were a couple of tops.
No, haven't the leisure.
Oh, damn me. And here I thought...
And I was terribly pleased, because more people told me, you were not in that picture. Yeah. No. And I said, who was it then? Well, I can't remember her name. They didn't recognize me.
Here is hoping that Dr. Jekyll thinks of his ivy.
as I know he'd like to.
The next part my mother played called upon her to choose between loyalty to her husband and romantic love. My mother had no idea that the picture would become a film classic, Casablanca. During the shooting of Casablanca, my mother's mind was really on another role, Maria, in For Whom the Bell Tolls. Her new short hair was copied by women everywhere.
Here in the rugged mountains of a war-torn country, a man and a woman from two different worlds found an eternal love. The incomparable Bergman as Maria, whose close-cut hair was a symbol of shame, until he kindled the passion that burned away every dark memory.
Oh, if there's nothing to do for you, I'll sit by you and watch you. Any of the nights we'll make love.
You are shameless.
Critics called her luminous,
Love me, I love
and she
you.
was given her first Academy Award nomination. In Gaslight, my mother is as fascinating today as she was in 1944.
But Elizabeth, but you saw him. You opened the door for him yourself. No, but say it, Elizabeth, say it.
No, Mum. I didn't see anyone at all.
He was here. I know it.
You see how it is, Elizabeth.
Yes, sir. I see just how it is.
I couldn't have dreamed it. I couldn't have dreamed it. I couldn't have dreamed it. I couldn't have dreamed it.
It was a lovely performance, and for it my mother won her first Academy Award. That idea that you can have it all is a fallacy. You can't have it all. My mother, when she came to America, had to immediately face that dilemma and face that dilemma over and over in her life, whether or not to stay with her children or whether or not to pursue her career. It so happens that the career was in Hollywood, and it so happens that my father was going to medical school in Rochester, New York, and I stayed with him. It was deemed that that would be best for me. My mother came to visit occasionally, but she spent most of her time in California. Eventually, we all went to California. We all lived in Beverly Hills. My mother then traveled and was away, and there was always this pull for her between how much time she could spend at home and how much time she was to spend on her art. So-called real family life was never as real to her as what was happening on a set. And the people she met on the sets, I think, became substitute family. And I think people on a set are a better substitute family sometimes than your own family, because I think very often the director is like the father figure, and maybe there's an older actress who becomes the mother figure, and then there are the brothers and sisters who are all the other actors. But those people never present as much a problem as your real mother and father and your real husband and your real children.